Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Arrhythmia Alliance and AF Association Shared Story Series. My name is Sharonica Gavin, the Community Education Manager for Arrhythmia Alliance and the AF Association here in the US. Here with me today, we have an amazing patient by the name of Kenny. Hi, Kenny, how are you today?
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing well. As you all know, shared stories provide so much comfort and support for patients who have irregular heart rhythms. So today, Kenny and I will walk through a series of questions. And these questions, along with his answers, will provide a more unique just outlook on how it is and what it's like to be a patient with AFib. All right, Kenny, the first question is, when were you first diagnosed with AFib?
When I was first diagnosed, it was October 30th of 2017. I was actually in a pre-op for a knee surgery when they found it.
Yeah, gotcha. And how has being diagnosed with AFib changed or affected your life?
Great question. It made me a lot more conscious about what I do. Um, I regular going to the doctor regularly, making sure you're taking your medications, um, following doctor's orders, making sure that you understand what the doctors want. Um, it changed my life because I became obsessed with my heart rate, and that was a scary part of my life. And finally, I just did some research, and it made things a lot better.
You know, so many patients seem to uncover being diagnosed with AFib in a different situation, just like yours. You went for a knee surgery, and then it's like, oh, wait, I have AFib. And I think that just shows how many patients are undiagnosed at this point and at an increased risk of AF related stroke, you know?
Yep.
Our third question is, what therapy option did you choose?
Great question. So it started with a medicine called diltiazem.
Mhm.
Um, did a cardio version on December 13th of 2017. It lasted 12 days. On Christmas, I woke up and I just knew something was wrong. Um, Called the doctor, and he put me on a medicine called amionadrone. I did another cardio version in June of 19. It didn't work at all. Um, could not restore sinus rhythm. So after doing some research and some options, I decided to go with a cryoablation. Um, I was blessed that it was on July 27th of 18. And then since then, I've been blessed in sinus rhythm, and it's been really, really well.
So I think you touch on how certain therapy options work for certain patients, and the time frame of them actually keeping a patient in sinus rhythm just depends on the patient themselves.
Absolutely.
Having a cardioversion, and then some patients can go months in sinus rhythm without a problem at all. But then for you to wake up Christmas morning, 12 days after a cardioversion, and know something's wrong. I think
Yeah.
it's so important to share that our bodies tell us when something is wrong.
Hmm.
So your heart was saying, "Look, Kenny, something's going on here," and you acted on it. So
Yeah.
I think that shows definitely you being in control and knowing something is actually wrong and taking action. Our fourth question today is, what lifestyle changes have you made following your diagnosis of AFib?
Oh, what lifestyle changes? That's a great question. The biggest thing that I had for me is I did a sleep test. I had sleep apnea, which my EP thinks that was a big part of what happened. Um, Turned out I had pretty bad sleep apnea now that I have a CPAP. People find it embarrassing, but let me tell you what, I feel better now than I have in years. I sleep better. Um, but other than that, I drink a lot more water, stay hydrated. Um, Other than that, not a whole lot. Just the sleep apnea was the biggest change.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay. And I love that you touch on, some people may kind of think that the CPAP machine may be frowned upon, but how many benefits has it provided for you? You know, so
yes.
just placing a strong emphasis on every patient is different. and ensuring that we do what's right for us. Um, the fifth question for today is: what are the challenges of living with AF during a pandemic? So, COVID has taken big control over all of our lives. As you see, most companies are working remotely. You know, many places are homebound. So, how has living with AF affected you during the pandemic?
So I've been blessed to stay in sinus rhythm. It is very important that when you can't get out and can't do some of the things, the walking and or whatever it is that you do, it's important to find support on whatever site, whatever things around you. Not everybody understands what you go through, so it's important to find the people that do, whether it's positive or negative. You research and you can share your stories with other people. It makes you feel better. Doctors are not always available right now, so um, if something feels wrong, though, you got to take care of it. Don't wait. Don't be afraid. You got to take care of it. So,
Right. Absolutely. So we know that our Health Unlocked AF Association, Health Unlocked Forum, has provided so much support to several patients, especially during COVID. As you stated, some physicians are overwhelmed and very busy right now. Telehealth has become a big thing during COVID and has blessed so many. But I think it is important when our bodies telling us something's wrong to act on it. And what we know from other patients, speaking with people who have gone through what we've gone through, provides such a unique form of support for us. Doctors learn about the conditions, but not all have actually lived with the conditions. So I think that's so important. Seeking support, and information from people who have actually lived with it or are fully educated on the condition. Now, our last and final question, Kenny, is: what advice would you give to a newly diagnosed AF patient?
what advice would I give to somebody that's newly diagnosed? First, I would start with relax.
Mm,
A lot will go through your mind. Um, for me, it was, am I dying? Because when you talk to a doctor, you get very little information. It's very in, very out. Um, I didn't know. So, my best thing for you is do your research. Get out there. There's a lot of information out there. Understand what your doctor wants, but also give yourselves options. When you go into your doctor's office, have questions for him. What is the best route for me? Um, Doctors see a lot of patients. Um, it could be a number on a stat sheet. I don't know. I don't know how a doctor thinks, but have your questions. Know that you're important to it. Do your research and take control of your own life. That way you can make it as much as you have. Let your journey be to the best quality of life that you can make it. That would be my advice to you. Take control of it, relax a little bit, and do your research.
I don't think there's any better advice, Kenny. Take control. First off, you said relax. So that's the key thing: relax. When you've been diagnosed with AFib, first thing to do is relax. And then you need to educate yourself. And
Yes.
the AF Association, we provide online resources. You can call us, as well as join our online support group. So I think educating yourselves, first relaxing, educating yourselves, taking control, have those notes developed and those questions ready when you go into that physician office. We all know how it is when we go see our doctors. They're in and out within 10 to 12 minutes. But we we are their patients, and we have to say, hey, look, I have this question, that question, that question, and this question. Sometimes we leave out and we're like, oh man, I didn't ask this.
Mm-hmm.
But if we come prepared, we can then get the answers that we need. And I think it's so important not to stop there. Continue to educate yourself. um, your advice will definitely benefit so many patients. Everything that you spoke on throughout this interview will definitely benefit so many. We all know that shared stories provide support and comfort to newly diagnosed patients, patients looking to be diagnosed, maybe suspecting they have AFib, as well as patients like you who have lived with AFib for years. So, Kenny, thank you so much for your time as well as your continuous support for Arrhythmia Alliance and the AF Association. If anyone is interested in sharing their story, please feel free to contact us. Thank you.
Thank you.